Good morning, my sunshines. Good morning, good morning, good morning to you and you and you and you and you. Hello. We are entering week 5 of distance learning. We are continuing to read The One and Only Ivan by Catherine Applegate with permission from HarperCollins Publishers. Okay, guys, so what have we read so far? Who can tell me? Royalty, yes. Thank you for raising your hand. You're right. We are learning about Ivan, a gorilla, and we've met Stella, the elephant, Bob, the dog. There's Julia, the little girl who likes to draw. There's Mack, the man who owns the zoo. And we have George, Julia's dad, who's in charge of cleaning the zoo. Oh my goodness, we have a motley crew right there. So let's dive in. Last time we read, not many people were coming to the zoo, and Ivan was a little frustrated, Mack was frustrated. So let's dig in. I love Julia's pictures of Bob. She draws him flying across the page, a blur of feet and fur. She draws him motionless, peeking out from behind a trash can or the soft hill of my belly. Sometimes in her drawings, Julia gives Bob wings or a lion's mane. Once she gave him a tortoise shell. But the best thing she ever gave him wasn't a drawing. Julia gave Bob his name. For a long time, no one knew what to call Bob. Now and then, a mall worker would try to approach him with a tidbit, like some kind of snack. "Come here, doggy," they'd yell, holding out a french fry. "Come on, Pooch," they'd say. "How about a little piece of sandwich?" But he would always vanish into the shadows before anyone could get too close. One afternoon, Julia decided to draw the little dog curled up in the corner of my domain. First, she watched him for a long time, chewing on her thumbnail. I could tell she was looking at him the way an artist looks at the world when she's trying to understand it. Finally, she grabbed her pencil and set to work. When she was finished, she held up the page. There he was, the tiny, big-eared dog. He was smart and cunning, but his gaze was wistful. Under the picture were 3 bold, confident marks circled in black. I was pretty certain it was a word, even though I couldn't read it. Julia's father peered over her shoulder. "That's him exactly," he said, nodding. He pointed to the circled marks. "I didn't realize his name was Bob," he said. "Me either," said Julia. She smiled. "I had to draw him first." Bob will not let humans touch him. He says their scent upsets his digestion. But every now and then, I see him sitting at Julia's feet. Her fingers move gently, just behind his right ear. So we can kind of tell now that Julia is a very sensitive person. She's very in touch. She seems like a really good person. Here's a little picture of Julia and Bob. Usually Mack leaves after the last show, but tonight he is in his office working late. When he's done, he stops by my domain and stares at me for a long time while he drinks from a brown bottle. George joins him, broom in hand, and Mack says the things he always says. "How about that game last night?" And "Business has been slow, but it'll get better, you'll see." And "Don't forget to empty the trash." Mack glances over at the picture Julia is drawing. "What are you making?" he says. It's for my mom," Julia says. "It's a flying dog." She holds up her drawing, eyeing it critically. She likes airplanes. And dogs. Mack murmurs, sounding unconvinced. He looks at George. "How's the wife doing anyway?" "About the same," George says. "She has good days and bad days." "Yeah, don't we all?" Mack says. Mack starts to leave, then pauses. He reaches into his pocket, pulls out a crumpled green bill, and presses it into George's hand. "Here," Mack says with a shrug. "Buy the kids some more crayons." Mack is already out the door before George can yell, "Thanks!" "Stella," I say after Julia and her father go home. "I can't sleep." "Of course you can," she says. "You are the king of sleepers." "Shh." Bob says from his perch on my belly. I'm dreaming about chili fries. I'm tired, I say, but I'm not sleepy. What are you tired of? Stella asks. I think for a while. It's hard to put into words. Gorillas are not complainers. We're dreamers, poets, philosophers, nap takers. I don't know exactly. I kick at my tire swing. I think I may be a little tired of my domain. That's because it's a cage, Bob tells me. Bob is not always tactful. I know, Stella says. It's a very small domain. And you're a big gorilla, Bob adds. Stella, I ask. Yes. I noticed you're limping more than usual today. Is your leg bothering you? Just a little, Stella answers. I sigh. Bob resettles. His ears flick. He drools a bit, but I don't mind. I'm used to it. Try eating something, Stella says. That always makes you happy. I eat an old brown carrot. It doesn't help, but I don't tell Stella. She needs to sleep. You could try remembering a good day, Stella suggests. That's what I do when I can't sleep. Stella remembers every moment since she was born. Every scent, every sunset, every slight, every victory. You know I can't remember much, I say. There's a difference, Stella says gently, between can't remember and won't remember. That's true, I admit. Not remembering can be difficult, but I've had a lot of time to work on it. Memories are precious. They help tell us who we are. Try remembering all your keepers. You always liked Carl, the one with the harmonica. Oh, Carl. Yeah. I remember how he gave me a coconut when I was still a juvenile. It took me all day to open it. I try to recall the other keepers I have known. The humans who cleaned my domain and prepared my food and sometimes kept me company. There was Juan, who poured Pepsis into my waiting mouth, and Katrina, who used to poke me with a broom when I was sleeping, and Ellen, who sang, "How much is that monkey in the window?" with a sad smile while she scrubbed my water bowl. And there was Gerald, who once brought me a box of fat, sweet strawberries. Gerald was my favorite keeper. I haven't had a real keeper in a long time. Mack says he doesn't have the money to pay for an 8 babysitter. These days, George cleans my cage, and Mack is the one who feeds me. When I think about all the people who have taken care of me, it's mostly Mack I recall, day in and day out, year after year after year. Mack who bought me and raised me and says I'm no longer cute. As if a silverback could ever be cute. Moonlight falls on the frozen carousel, on the silent popcorn stand, on the stall of leather belts that smell like long-gone cows. The heavy work of Stella's breathing sounds like the wind in trees, and I wait for sleep to find me. Matt gives me a new black crayon and a fresh pile of paper. It's time to work again. I smell the crayon, roll it in my hands, press the sharp point against my palm. There's nothing I love more than a new crayon. I search my domain for something to draw. What is black? An old banana peel would work, but I've eaten them all. Knot tag is brown. My little pool is blue. The yogurt raisin I'm saving for this afternoon is white, at least on the outside. Something moves in the corner. I have a visitor! A shiny beetle has stopped by. Bugs often wander through my domain on their way to somewhere else. Hello, beetle, I say. He freezes silent. Bugs never want to chat. The beetle's an attractive bug with a body like a glossy nut. He's black as the starless night. That's it! I'll draw him! It's hard making a picture of something new. I don't get the chance that often. But I try. I look at the beetle who's being kind enough not to move, then back to my paper. I draw his body, his legs, his little antennae, his sour expression. I'm lucky. The beetle stays all day. Usually bugs don't linger when they visit. I'm beginning to wonder if he's feeling all right. Bob, who's been known to munch on bugs from time to time, offers to eat him. I tell Bob that won't be necessary. I'm just finishing my last picture when Mack returns. George and Julia are with him. Mack enters my domain and picks up a drawing. "What the heck is this?" he says. "Beats me what Ivan thinks he's drawing. This is a picture of nothing. A big black nothing." Julia is standing just outside my domain. "Can I see?" she asks. Mack holds my picture up to the window. Julia tilts her head. She squeezes one eye shut. Then she opens her eye and scans my domain. "I know," she says. "It's a beetle. See that beetle over there by Ivan's pool?" "Man, I just sprayed this place for bugs." Mack walks over the beetle and lifts his foot. Before Mack can stomp, the beetle skitters away, disappearing through a crack in the wall. Mack turns back to my drawings. So you figure this is a beetle, huh? If you say so, kid." "Oh, that's a beetle for sure," Julia says, smiling at me. "I know a beetle when I see one." It's nice, I think, having a fellow artist around. Here's a picture of the beetle. Stella is the first one to notice the change, but soon we all feel it. A new animal is coming to the big top mall. How do we know this? Because we listen, we watch, and most of all, we sniff the air. Humans always smell odd when changes in the air, like rotten meat with a hint of papaya. All right, guys, we are going to stop it there. We're about a quarter through this book now. We have been kicking butt with all of our reading. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I have some questions that I want you guys to respond to in the comments, okay? So, my first question is, what kind of person is Mack? Mack is the guy who owns the zoo. He's the guy I do this voice for. So what kind of person is Mack? Why do you think he's that type of person? I want you to support your answer with 1 or 2 pieces of evidence from the text that I have read. My next question, question 2, is what do you do when you can't sleep? See, for me, I like to turn on my humidifier. I listen to some ASMR videos on YouTube. I just close my eyes and I rest then. My next question is, what is your most precious memory? I think my most precious memory is when I was 15 years old and my parents brought home my baby brother, Daniel. He is 10 now, and it's very precious to me. So what is your most precious memory? And my last question, make a prediction. The last page I read said that there's a change coming to the zoo. Do you predict that this is going to be a good change, or do you think this is going to be a bad change? And give me your prediction about what the change might be. All right, guys, I want you to know I love you with my whole heart, and I hope we are together soon.